Hey there, Scorpions, welcome back. Grieving your instructor here, and today we are going to talk about strings in Python. If you're new to the channel, kindly do subscribe to be receiving updates of the same. And let's dive right away into learning more about strings. Today we are going to talk about strings, what really strings are, what kind of operations Python can perform with strings, and we're also going to look at a couple of methods in strings. And so right away, I'll start off my IDE. And my IDE is a Visual Studio now. From the last point where we left, let me create a new a new file, and I'll call it strings.py. Okay. Okay, so previously we defined strings as a set of characters in Python. Okay, we defined strings as a set of characters, and we said strings in Python are denoted by single quotes. And now, like I could say my name, Gravin, okay, or rather, we could also use double quotes to denote strings, okay, and you could say somebody like Tom. Oh, I'm sorry, names of proper nouns, so should be given in capital letters, okay. So you have denoting strings in either single quotes or double quotes, and that's how we denote strings in Python. Okay, and and now to the next thing I want to learn, like when you have two kinds of strings, like in this case we have Tom, we have Tom, and we have Grieving. So two separate strings are known as string literals. Okay, now string literals, you can have something like dog. You can have a name like dog. Okay, you can also have a name like cat. Okay, so when you have dog here and we have cat here, those are two separate strings, and in Python we refer to those as string literals. And one thing with string literals is that two strings that are close to each other are automatically concatenated. Concatenation, we said previously, is the addition or the combination of two strings, like we bringing two strings together. So when you have two string literals in this written in this manner, it's Python automatically concatenates the two, and when you run like that bit of code, you can see our output. We have dog cat, and the output is dog cat. And initially, I told you when you're concatenating two strings and wish to have a space between the two of them, just insert a space before the last quotation mark in the last string. So you do something like that, okay, so that you get this kind of white space there, and then you'll be able to have dog space cat. Okay, so when I print that again, you see now the difference. The first one has got no space. It concatenates and just brings the two strings together without any space. And we have dog cat. Now it has separated the string literals so that we have an output of dog space, and then we have cat. So that's the much basic introduction into strings with Python. And what else are we able to do with strings? Now, strings can be indexed. To mean strings can be subscripted. And maybe before I talk about that, just to add on this, is that you can never really have have a variable name and a string concatenating automatically. It's only two string literals that can concatenate. So, for example, you cannot say that because we have the variable name as grieving. I love to use my name, and then because you have string another string like let's say Sharon. Okay, so because you have a variable as grieving and a string Sharon, you cannot expect to have name. Okay, you can never expect to have name and and Sharon automatically concatenating. Okay, it can never happen. Actually, it returns an error. So when I run that bit of code, okay, when I run that bit of code, I get an error. Okay, you see, it says like in line one, okay, syntax error, invalid syntax. Okay, Sharon. So you definitely cannot have um, a variable concatenating a string name. Okay, so I'll just right away okay, I'll leave that as an example. But then now this is all you need to know up to that point about strings and string literals. So um um on to the next point that I was talking about, that is indexing of strings. So we have said that indexing is subscripting strings, and it's like trying to count strings and saying we at position one we have this string. Okay, it's like trying to get a substring in a string. So for example, when you have um, let's say a variable, we have a variable, a string variable, and uh, it's goodbye world. Okay, I know most of you are used to hello world, but let's say word here in this case is goodbye hello world. Okay, and we wanted to index this kind of string. Now we have said indexing is like getting a substring of a string. So you can have like in word, um, to get index, use square brackets. Okay, so in word, at position zero. Okay, what do we have where you can say, let me say print word. Okay, print word at position zero. Okay, so that we can clearly see that. And when I run that bit of code, you have word at index zero, meaning at position zero, we have letter G as word at position zero. And in Python, numbering begins from zero. So we have like G is zero, O is one, another O is two, D, okay, like that. That's how counting in Python begins from zero. So that's why when you try to print the string at index zero, it returns the value G that we have at the terminal section below here. And and when you say like maybe print word at position 5, okay, at index 5, print word at index 5, and when you run that, at position 5 we have the letter Y. This is what we have as our output at position Y. But strings in Python can also be negatively indexed. That is negative indexing. So it is like counting the reverse way. So if we have 0, 1, 2, 3, like that, beginning from left to right. So reverse way of counting that would be from right to left. So printing that in that manner, we don't have negative 0, of course. So we can only count from negative 1. Okay, so if you say print if you say print word of index negative 1, So when you say print of index -1, it should be able to return the value, the exclamation mark. Yes, it should be able to return the exclamation mark. And that is what we have at -1. When we counting the reverse way, we have the exclamation mark coming in as the negative index, the first negative index. And you this value could vary, like you can have say -6. Okay, if we print again -6, the output that we have is W. Okay, -6 is W. So we have -1, -2 as B, -3 as L. So negative indexing in Python begins from right to left, but positive indexing or just normal indexing in Python will assume you're counting from position 0, and that is moving from left to right. And that's all about indexing strings for now. Another thing to note is you have um, you have you can have you can actually have strings that are sliced. Okay, well, what did I say previously? I said indexing gives you a substring. No, indexing should be able to give you a single letter in a string. Okay, a single letter in a string or a range, but it is actually slicing of the string that gives you a substring. And we'll be talking more about slicing in the next video. But for now, I just want to give a short example of what slicing is. So, given this previous example, we could say for slicing, we could maybe say print. Okay, print from position 1 to position 7. Okay, so what this actually means is like print beginning the string on index 1, the letter on at index 1, and end with the string at and excluding index 7. So when you say print oh, sorry about that, print word, it should have been easy. Print word from position 1 to 7. It means like beginning 1 up to, but excluding 7. Okay, so when you run that piece of code, this is what you have as the output from position 1 up to 7. So this G is position 0. So we have 0 at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it excludes position 7, which is W in this case, and ends at E. And that is why we have the output in our terminal here as would-by. Okay, would-by. So I'll be able to describe more about slicing, striding, and indexing strings in the next video. So that's it for now, guys, and see you on the other side. Please subscribe to